more context coming out surrounding this motion for order filed by Binance yesterday. It's pretty breaking. I'm going to break it down in this video very simply. For some context, though, I just want to point out a headline because this is all framing together to tell, I think, a bigger story in terms of SEC, in terms of Gary Gensler kind of maybe in over his head. This is from June 7th, and I think this might be where we started to see a pivot in narrative. Coinbase, Ripple, Binance, all going on the offense as opposed to the defense. Gensler accused of being in complete contempt of Congress. And now as we're weeks later into this, this is really kind of starting to become an issue, I think, for the SEC with crackdown on Coinbase. So this is in relation to Coinbase. There's a growing sense in Congress and among former regulators that SEC Chairman Gary Gensler has bit off more than he can chew and is undermining congressional efforts to regulate the digital asset industry. This was weeks ago. And what we're about to break down based off of this recent filing from Binance, this goes even deeper. The latest enforcement action against Coinbase is an egregious example of regulation by enforcement. Richie Torres, a Democrat from New York. It demonstrates a complete contempt for Congress, which in the process of developing a framework for crypto regulation, of developing a framework. Here's the filing. Last night's video, we touched on a piece of it, right? That is to say, the court asking, I want to know, are BAM assets going offshore? Are you saying it's happening or it's not? And it's kind of stunning to me that I've now asked the question to each of the SEC attorneys 5 times. SEC basically saying, we don't know. So currently the assets are not going offshore. We're not seeing any flows of money outside of the United States. So we covered this yesterday. Binance or SEC basically kind of just in the dark, right? Just trying to throw darts and just see what sticks against the wall. Here's the breakdown of this filing on a deeper level. This is what we're covering in this video. In an aggressive move, Binance has gone on offense against the SEC in the federal court case. Lawyers for the Binance defendants have filed a motion accusing the SEC of engaging in unethical conduct. This is a big deal. And by the way, Meta Lawman just providing great content lately that we've been using, so just shout out to him. Binance has accused the SEC of violating court rules by making statements outside of court that are false, designed to harm Binance customers, which they have. If you're a Binance customer, it's not even just Binance US customers. It's harming the entire crypto industry, these things, and likely to taint the jury pool. Binance argues that after entry of an order agreed to by the parties, the SEC issued a misleading press release claiming, 1, it had secured emergency relief. 2, CZ had commingled and diverted customer assets. 3, the order was essential to protecting investor assets. Binance argues that when questioned by the judge repeatedly, here we go, the SEC attorneys were unable to point to any evidence that CZ had diverted or commingled customer assets. Binance argues that the SEC has violated not only court rules, but also the SEC's own code of conduct. Again, remember, weeks ago, these were the headlines that were beginning to surface. And here we have this ongoing news story. It's noteworthy that these allegations of misconduct are signed by Bill McLucas and George Canellos, both of whom served as head of the SEC's Division of Enforcement. Accusations of unethical conduct coming from these lawyers will definitely reverberate in the halls at the SEC. And we already just talked about also the other day, donors kind of not too happy with the SEC right now. The SEC will come back swinging, he says, and obviously I think that's to be anticipated. He says this is just the beginning. Binance is clearly going on offense. The Binance lawyers are signaling to the SEC that they will be in for a real fight, just like the Ripple case. And I want to just say this. I can't say this enough. Just like also the Coinbase case. This is the chief legal officer, Paul Graywall. This was in April. Listen to this 19-second message.
Coinbase will defend itself vigorously in litigation if it comes to that. But it does not have to come to that. We will show up at your offices any day, any time to discuss a workable path forward for our industry. But we won't find that path without true dialogue.
Well, it did come to that. And guess what? Just like Binance now, just like Ripple, This is Brian Armstrong over at Coinbase. They are fighting too. Just as a reminder, they're on the offense too. Regarding the SEC complaint against us today, we're proud to represent the industry in court to finally get some clarity around crypto rules. We're confident in our facts and the law will get the job done. It's just piecing together. I know we've been covering this almost daily, but as everything continues to surface and new information continues to come out, it is very good to see not only the industry coming together, which I've seen, and many of you have seen that, but just these companies no longer so much on the defense, but really going on the offense, because it is becoming so blatantly obvious that these headlines are really coming to fruition. And these headlines really do seem to be extremely accurate, namely complete contempt of Congress, truly harming an entire industry, a growing industry, an innovative industry that is good for America. Let me know your thoughts, everybody, in the comments below. I appreciate all of you out there. Hit the subscribe and like. I will see you in the next one. God bless.